Well, hello. I was sure that this was going to be my last Capitol update. Only I stand here before you and I'm not so sure anymore, because for those of you who have been following the session, we did not get our bonding bill done. I just finished my retirement speech, and so I'd love to share about that. But I know what you really want to know is what the heck really happened. And so, as usual, I'll tell you. So what happened was, the House all along said that they would not do anything to support transit. For some reason, that just went against their ideology. The Senate said we wanted a tax bill, a bonding bill, and a transportation bill, but we wanted to have our transportation bill be comprehensive. And so the bonding chairs had been working all session to come to an agreement, but it was like literally 2 hours left to the session and they still had not come to an agreement. And the holdup seemed to be what the size of the bill was going to be, what was going to be in it, what parts of transportation were going to be included in the bonding bill, and there was no transit. And so to be able to put this deal together, the idea was to just allow the Hennepin County Railroad Authority the ability to put more than their 10% share towards a light rail project so that our inaction wouldn't stop the Southwest Light Rail project for going forward, where the federal match was really at risk. And so we did not have any agreement about putting money towards that, and the state truly would have had no share. And so it was a very technical fix, but allowed the whole thing to come together. The House took up that final bill, which included our bonding projects, our transportation projects, and we thought just that little amendment. When the bill came over to the Senate, somehow that piece of the agreement was not in the bill. And so Senator Latz offered an amendment to reinsert it, even though we had 10 minutes left. That passed quickly. The message got sent back to the House, only the House, having thought we would have just passed our bill, had already sine-died, and so they did not receive the message. It sounds a little bit like a Three Stooges episode, and all I can tell you is that it doesn't work very well, that we don't have conference committee processes where everybody can see the bills, that our chairs don't seem to have the kind of relationships that allow for the back and forth compromises to be made in a timely fashion. And so, for example, the higher ed article, which I was responsible for, along with Chair Nornis, we were the first ones done because we worked together all session so that we knew where they were at, they knew where we were at, and we did our negotiating as the days and weeks went on, so there was really nothing to negotiate at the very end other than a few decision key points because our target changed. But so it was disappointing that the session ended that way. I was pleased that we did pass a tax bill. I was pleased that we passed a supplemental finance bill that was actually much smaller than we started with, but I thought that was fiscally prudent. I was pleased about that. And I would have been most grateful to stand before you and say that we passed a bonding bill. I expect that we will pass a bonding bill because I believe the governor will call a special session. I'm hearing some rumors that it may not be for a week. I think that's silly. I think we're ready to come right back. And frankly, I wish the House would just take up the message, vote for it, and we'd be done. So the legislative process is a sloppy process. We are different than the federal government. We in Minnesota have a constitutional obligation to have a balanced budget. Sometimes things are messy, but we do get back together and get our work done, and I think you'll see that that'll happen now. So it is my last session with the Minnesota Senate, and fitting that it would end on such a discordant note, because it's not easy to have a large and diverse body come together and compromise. But that's what I stand for. That's what I will do my very best to do in the days ahead. And if I have the honor to continue public service, then you can count on me to bring that commitment to all of my work representing the people of this great state. So I gave a retirement speech, and we'll put a link to that in this newsletter, mostly what I did is express my deep and profound gratitude for being able to serve and being supported by the tremendous staff that I've been supported by. In fact, I asked all of my legislative assistants since I began in the Senate to join me. I was joined by Will Seufert, my first, then Jonathan Eichten, my second. Brad Shapiro, who finished that session when John left, was not able to join us, but I acknowledged him. Sean Oyas was with us, and then of course my current legislative assistant, Beth Johnston, as well as my committee administrator, Dave Kornecki. Thank you to all of them. And to so many others who have allowed me to have this honor and this privilege. And most of all, that's you who are watching this newsletter. Many of you are in my district, and so it is with your vote and your trust that I have this opportunity. So sorry for the messy story about what happened, but it was messy, and sometimes that's how it is, but I figured you want to know the straight facts. So signing off for now, and hopefully a special session ahead.